welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about my favorite face primers. This is a question that I get all the time. What are my favorite primers? What are the primers I recommend for acne prone skin, oily skin, etc. So I figured I would just do a video for you guys going through and reviewing my top 5 favorite primers that I have tried so far. Also, please excuse my hair. I know that this little bang poof is so early 2000s and not cool, but I'm on third day hair and my hair is just super flat and annoying and I just needed to get it off my face, so that is what is going on today. Anyways, I feel like primer is kind of almost like a controversial topic. I'll get so many comments saying I should not be using primer at all on my skin with acne and everything, and then when I don't use primers, people are like, why aren't you using a primer? You need one for your skin. So it's kind of like both ends of the spectrum. People have very different opinions on primer. So this video is just going to be for the people who are interested in knowing what primers I do like. I don't even wear primer every day. I probably wear it 50% of the time. But anyways, all of the primers I'm going to be talking about in this video fit into 2 very specific kind of criteria categories for myself. The first one being is that all of these primers do not make me break out. All of the primers I'm going to be talking about I have used at length and they don't irritate my skin, they don't cause me to break out, they don't do anything negative to my skin, and 2, they actually do genuinely increase the longevity and the wear time of my makeup. One quick last thing before we jump in and get started, just a kind of disclaimer, everyone's skin is different, and while these primers work for me, they may not work for you. 1,000 people can try a product and absolutely love it, and then the 1,001st person will try it and it'll make them break out. So that's just something to keep in mind. These are my personal favorite primers, of course, and I think if you do have similar skin to me, they're worth a shot and you might end up really liking them as well. But it's trial and error. You really don't know if a product is going to work for you until you try it out yourself. But without further ado, let's jump into the primers. Alright, so I'm not going to go in any specific order, but the first product I'm going to talk about is the Smashbox PhotoFinish Blemish Control Primer. Now, I don't know what happened to the packaging of this. It's kind of warped and melted, so just ignore that. And I actually had to dig this out of my empties bag to talk about it, so I've completely used this up. That is how you guys know I really like it. This primer is oil free and it does contain salicylic acid as an acne treatment. It's 2% salicylic acid. Salicylic acid doesn't make a huge impact on my breakouts. If you do have acne and you have really good luck with salicylic acid, this might be a really great primer for you. I like this because it is just really lightweight. It's a really thin kind of gel consistency. It absorbs fast, doesn't leave any residue on the skin, which is what I personally like in a primer. I like something that just disappears into my skin for the most part. I find this is actually one of the best products I've ever tried to increase the wear time of my makeup. It truly does what a primer is meant to do. That is really good stuff. I have tried a wide range of the Smashbox primers as well, and this is my favorite. Number 2 is a product I don't actually currently have because I'm trying to be good and use some other things up before I repurchase it, but it is the original Benefit Professional Primer. This is hands down my favorite primer when I want ultra porcelain smooth, pore minimizing kind of effects. I have tried a lot of smoothing and pore minimizing products. I have tried the one from Smashbox, the purple one. I've tried the Makeup Forever Step 1, the smoothing one. I've also tried Dr. Brandt Pores No More. I've tried a lot of other popular primers that kind of claim to do the same thing, and none of them compare to Benefit Professional in my opinion. You can literally apply it to half of my face and the difference is insane with how much it smooths out those pores and any kind of rough texture on my skin. It does have a slight fragrance. That's the one con to me in my opinion because I try and stay away from perfumey scented kind of products, but I've used it quite a bit and it miraculously doesn't irritate my skin. That stuff is seriously the bomb. I cannot wait to repurchase it because just nothing compares to it in my opinion. So number 3 is a product I have talked about a lot. This is the Tarte BB Tinted Treatment 12-Hour Primer. Now this is actually a tinted primer, as you can tell from the name. I use the shade Fair, which is just the lightest, and it just has a little bit of color to it. It evens out any minor kind of redness or anything like that, just to give a nice kind of slightly more flawless base to apply your foundation on. People always ask me if I have used green primers and green color correctors. I have in the past, but honestly I much prefer using something like this because I have so much redness and so much acne. When I use green products, I have to do so much of it. Honestly, kind of hard to keep it from making me look sick almost. So I much prefer this because I can just apply it all over my entire face and it does kind of the same job in my opinion. This primer is thicker in consistency. I know some people say it's really silicone-y feeling. I don't really get that from this primer. primers that I consider being like really silicone-y are like Lancome Le Base and like the original Smashbox primer. This one isn't too bad in my opinion, but if you're like ultra sensitive to like a silicone feeling, you might not like this. So maybe just like try it out on the back of your hand at Sephora or something first. It says you can build the coverage of it. It's oil-free, moisturizing, pore minimizing, skin brightening. It kind of does everything, and I feel like it really lives up to the claims. And this is also one of my favorites, this and the Smashbox, for actually keeping my makeup in place all day long. These are my top two when it comes to wear time. And I have gone through numerous tubes of this. I think this is like my third tube of it, so you can definitely tell that I really love this product. Second last, I want to talk about the Bare Minerals Prime Time Oil Control Foundation Primer. This is the primer that I've had for the least amount of time, but I really do like it. It is like a very like thin kind of like serum-y consistency. Like it really just disappears into your skin, and unlike other oil controlling or mattifying primers, it doesn't leave your skin like dry or tight at all. I find some other mattifying primers like suck the life out of your skin and like suck out all the moisture. This one doesn't do that, which I really like. It just disappears and absorbs really fast and doesn't leave any kind of like residue or film on your skin. Now, while this doesn't keep me like 100% matte and like oil-free all day long, the main thing I notice with this is that it prevents separation in my makeup. So I will still get a little bit oily and a little bit shiny, but I won't get that like makeup meltdown where my makeup's just like bunching up and getting really gross and disgusting looking, which primarily happens in kind of like the little creases of my nose right here. I have like ultra oily skin, so I know that I'm probably not going to find a primer that's really just going to like stop my oil production and like keep me super matte all day long. This comes pretty close to what I want in an ideal primer. Like I don't mind being a little bit shiny at all. I'm not super fixated on being like 100% matte all the time. It's mostly just that like makeup meltdown, like I said, that I want to prevent. So yeah, I'd really recommend this if you want something that's really undetectable on your skin, if you don't like the feeling of adding like a ton of layers of product onto your face. My only complaint with this is the pump is kind of annoying. It's like impossible to pump out a tiny little bit. It just gives you like a full pump no matter what, and sometimes it's a little bit too much. So number 5 is a primer that I do own, but of course I just can't find it because that would just be too convenient if I could find it when I want to film a video talking about it. But it is the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer, which is a very popular primer. It's very expensive. I only ever buy the travel size, which I think is like around $20, which is still pricey because it's quite small, but like I said, I don't use primer all the time, so it lasts me quite a while. Veil Mineral Primer is kind of like a thin, milky consistency. Once again, fits into that very lightweight kind of category, but it does leave like a little bit of hydration on the skin. And one of the things I really love about it is how well it just like soothes the skin and reduces redness. That's one of the things it's really well known for, which I have a ton of redness on my face. It's definitely one of my main concerns, and it really makes a difference when I use that. So now everyone has been asking me to update on the NYX Angel Veil Primer, and I thought I would include this in here because it's very often compared to the Hourglass primer. I'm not including this as a favorite because I have not had this for long. I've only had it for a couple of weeks, and I don't feel like I can really say it's like a favorite like holy grail product for me, but I do really enjoy it so far. It is kind of similar to the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. It's a little bit thicker in consistency though. It's kind of like a thin kind of lotion texture. The Hourglass one is like a little bit, I don't want to say watery, but it's definitely thinner. This one actually has kind of more of a smoothing benefit, I find, because it is a little bit thicker in texture than the Hourglass. I would say the Hourglass is a little bit more hydrating, but I find the fact that this is a little bit less hydrating to kind of work in my favor because it really does help to keep my makeup in place and my skin doesn't get overly oily because of that extra hydration. So yeah, while I can't officially say this is a favorite of mine, I would recommend checking it out, especially if you are interested in the Hourglass, because it is a very small fraction of the price, and I think it is comparable, not totally the same, not a 100% dupe for it, but I think it is good stuff and I would recommend checking it out. So yeah, that wraps up all of my top 5 favorite primers, the primers that I think are personally best for oily and acne prone skin. But like I said, everyone's skin is different, so I know someone's going to comment down below and be like, that one product you mentioned broke me out or whatever. Like I said, it's trial and error, so if you can, go to Sephora or go to Ulta and get samples of them beforehand just to try them out and see how your skin reacts. Like I said, primer is a big thing I get a lot of questions about, so I just wanted to kind of condense it all into this one little video. That way I can kind of direct people to this instead of answering the same question over and over again. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up as always if you did. If you have tried any of these products or plan to try any of them, definitely let me know what you think. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will talk to all of you guys in my next video. Bye guys! So for lip products, you guys are going to see a definite theme. I definitely have a type when it comes to lip colors lately, and that is like nudes and pinks and nudie.